The theme of this year's Black History Month is reclaiming narratives. I don't know who came up with the title, but I have to say I think it's genius. I often say that one of the best things about my job, it was true when I'm a vicar, it's true now I'm a bishop, is listening to people's stories, the precious gift of folk sharing their life experience, the value that they have discovered of what God is doing in them and through them and around them. It's such a precious gift, and being able to lend a voice to amplify that which we so often overlook or undervalue, it's a gift of the kind of ministry that we're in. And when it comes to Black History Month, listening not just to individuals but also to whole cultures, whole people groups that we so often overlook to our peril and to our shame, it's such a precious thing. So I'm really excited about this. I'm excited to listen to those who are going to give us our perspective in just a few moments on this video. I'm excited about the gift that we can be to each other. This Black History Month, let's lend our support to reclaiming narratives, especially the most overlooked, the most undervalued narratives in our world. God has made this world gloriously diverse, and we are richer when we are together in it. God bless you, and God bless all who share their narratives this month.
So reclaiming the narrative is all about telling our story from our perspective, and rewriting those stereotypes that have been linked with us as Black people. For example, that we are thieves, that we steal, that we're barbaric, because in reality, we were not the ones who stole African people from their native lands and transported them over to foreign lands. We were not the ones who barbarically raped and destroyed families, separated children away from their families. So it's all about us telling our true stories from our perspective.
Reclaiming narratives is around thinking about the original early Christians who were dark-skinned individuals, the ones who wrote the Bible, St. Augustine of Hippo. All of those people at the very beginning were dark-skinned individuals. And so when we think about Black history, we need to think about church history as well, because we're part of that.
I was challenged some years ago by Black theologian Willie James Jennings to reclaim the narrative. Jennings talks about whiteness as a construct within theological training and formation, and through his arguments about whiteness, I realised more my own unconscious bias with whiteness as a lens through which I worked and acted. With Jennings, I began to tear down unjust structures within my work of training and formation, and work to rebuild and create a space in which others too might tell and reclaim their narrative.
It is really important that at this stage of our history, that our stories, Black stories, are told by us, by the voices of the marginalised. It is important that our stories are honoured, that our narrative is heard from a position of empowerment. In 2024, we're still struggling with equity in communities, equity in the workplace. It is important now that our lived experience is told by Black people for the wider community to understand that we are people of honour, people of strength, people of achievements. We want to share our achievements with the wider community. We want to be seen with equity. Our legacy matters not just for ourselves, but for the generations to come. So reclaiming narrative is not just for me today or you today. It is for my children and your children. Thank you.
I love this year's theme of reclaiming the narrative for Black History Month. It speaks to me of the possibility of people joining our churches and communities and being able to be authentically who they really are. Too often people feel they need to leave part of their identity or culture outside of the church door. But they shouldn't need to code switch, and they shouldn't need to conform. The joy of diversity is that richness that it brings to our church and community.